Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Rosa, you can call me Dr. Rose, and today I'm going to be showing you how to put on sterile gloves with the proper technique. So before I begin the video, I just want to let you know that this is not by any means sponsored video by any of the companies that you're going to see it as the brand of these gloves. The other thing is I'm not going to go into the specifics as to materials of the gloves, what kind of glove each is specific for each kind of procedure or instance in this video. As I mentioned in the introduction, this video is with the intention of demonstrating the proper technique as to how to put on sterile gloves in the most sterile manner. In this case, within the bedside context. Some of the things in terms of these products and in general is that for anyone who is allergic to latex, each glove, make sure that you see the no latex label on these products. And so the other thing is that these different companies have different types of glove for different instances. These are two different materials, and so there are orthopedics and other kind of gloves in this manner. However, this I can address in a different video. This, as I mentioned, it's for proper technique. Regardless, that's the same technique applies to every single type of glove. Most often what you will see in terms of packaging, either you will see gloves packed in this manner and gloves packed in this manner. The only difference is that when seeing the packaging, this is just folded in half, unlike this one, which is just entirely, once you open the packaging, it just opens like a book. For demonstration purposes, I will do mainly the folded packaging, as this requires just an extra step to be conscious of when doing it at bedside, as well as when you want to protect your sterile field for the bedside procedure. So just opening the packaging, every single time that you want to either place your sterile gloves in the sterile field or provide them to the person within that sterile field, you always want to maintain your hands away from the sealed area. And so you will either hand the person's the gloves like this, away from the sterile area as well as the sterile gloves, and from there they can just pick the glove off. Otherwise, you will just open it as much as possible, being very cautious and just dropping it into the sterile field. Now, assuming that you have already the sterile field set up and or you have your you have washed your hands prior to initiating the procedure, you will have your gloves in this manner. With clean hands, you will just grab the gloves, make sure they're right side up, and then very cautiously open them up in this way. You will see that it has two little leaflets, not only here, but also at the top and at the bottom. The intentions mainly of these leaflets is to provide a place in which you can grab the gloves so that you maintain away from the sterile field within these gloves. In addition, the top parts are not only to protect when you open up the gloves, but also the foldings allow you to maintain the packaging open so that it's easier for you to put on the gloves. Now, prior to opening the packaging, always ensure that you have your right and your left glove. This might be something simple. However, whenever you're working in a sterile field, you often kind of just have that first chance to be able to keep everything sterile in a single movement. Now, when opening the packaging, again, keep an eye out for maintaining a sterile field, and as such, you will see sometimes the gloves kind of sticks. You can just push it away. Now, when keeping this packaging open, as you can see, it kind of turns in on itself sometimes. And so you can just pull on these leaflets. Now, remember that you have now these leaflets are not sterile and such. The area within that is sterile is this. So as you can see, the gloves are folded in this manner. This would go towards your skin, and then this would be the outer sterile part that you would be working with. When putting on the glove, ensure that regardless of left or right, you will follow the same technique. For the first part, remember that although you wash your hands are not sterile. Your hands are inevitably clean. However, this must maintain a sterile field. The only place that you are going to break sterility when placing the gloves is on this bottom portion. I oftentimes place the right glove first, just out of training, or you can also start with your left glove. To be able to place your right glove, or the first glove, you will grab on the folded area. Make sure you have your hand open. That way, your hole open. That way you place on your glove, grabbing only and directing your fingers in a way that maintain that sterile area away from the fold and maintaining the fold in contact with your skin. You pull and you see you maintain that sterile area. Now, as you pull here, this has broken your sterile field. This is the only part that is still sterile. In the same way or a similar manner, now instead of grabbing from here when placing your second glove, you will grab from the inside. From the inside, you grab like this. That way, you will just insert your hand while maintaining the sterile field. This requires you to unfold your glove and just keep pulling like this. Keep pulling glove and moving your fingers until you have your hand correctly inside the glove. This now is sterile. And so what you oftentimes do, you want to have your fingers within as much as you're within the space for your fingers as much as possible. Reason being, you want to make sure that you are able to feel on your fingertips whatever it is that you're wanting to maintain control of. In this case, could be a pulse when placing a radial line, for example. It could be the needle if you're suturing. It could be the catheter if you're placing a central line. And so always try to make sure to have those fingertips as neatly and as close to the fingertips of your gloves. Lastly, remember that my right glove, my first glove, is still folded over. This is something optional you may do just to maintain a more thorough sterile field up to beyond your wrist. Now, what I do is I grab through my thumb the inside and pull the glove backwards without breaking my sterile field. Once you have your glove set, you see as it's folded up, it's covering my entire distal forearm, and so I have this up until here sterile, I have this up until here sterile. This will be my working field. I cannot touch beyond, and I cannot raise my hands above my neck or below my waist. This is to maintain as much of a sterile field as possible while in the OR or while doing a bedside procedure. What you also can do if you're lacking some resources, this little rectangle can be used as a sterile field as well. You may deposit your bio patches, your lines, your needles right here if you're lacking a table or a sterile field itself. Oftentimes with the different kits, art line kits, central line kits, thoracentesis, lumbar puncture, or any other kind of kit already have a sterile field set for you. However, in the case that you do not have a sterile field, this can be certainly used as one.